Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Definitive Skyrim Let's Play. This is episode 7, I believe. And last episode, we left off about halfway through Bleak Falls Barrow. And we stopped right in front of this trap with these swinging blades. And I have very low confidence that I'll get through it on my first try. So let's see how this goes. We made it past one. I really don't know how that hit me. The blade had already passed, so apparently... I don't know. That's why we saved. Okay, made it past 2. Alright, made it past all 3. Second try, not too bad. Normally, if they weren't so deadly, I'd actually leave those on, because then if I had to run away from the Draugr, I could just run through there, take a little bit of damage, but the Draugr would certainly die. But I'm going to turn it off. So if I do have to run away, I don't have to worry about that. So there's all these pots of fire hanging above, and there's oil on the ground. So we need to be careful. So we've taken out 2 of the Draugr. There's at least one more. I might just try to set the floor on fire. And that happened to trigger the pot that was above us. So we took a little bit of damage, but fortunately, we were able to avoid most of the fire. While the fire was burning, we could actually see. Now it's pretty dark again. Use one of these potions and heal up a little bit. But I think we might be good in terms of the Draugr in this section. So we can bring the torch out and see a little bit better. I do think we have to go past at least one more of those swinging blade traps in this dungeon. Okay, so let's try out the bow. And it wasn't a sneak attack, but as you can see, that did, what, 5 damage? Out of 155, so that did nothing. Juke past this guy. And yeah, so the destruction magic to flames are just way better at dealing with these Draugr. Now, I know back when I played with Requiem, which is another big overhaul mod, not using it this time, but I've used it before, and I know in that playthrough, arrows also did almost nothing to Draugr, but you could craft silver arrows that did do good damage. I'm not sure if the Know Your Enemy mod that I'm using also has a mechanic like this. I would guess so, but I don't think we're able to craft silver arrows yet, so it doesn't really matter at this point. And if we're able to get our hands on a bound bow at any point, I don't think that will really matter. I'm not sure if the bound bow has better damage against undead, it might kind of make sense. And so see, this is one of those weird ore mines where you can't just hit it with the pickaxe. Not sure if it's an issue with the hitbox or what, but you have to go through and do the animation. I'm just gonna drop those off. Really just mining it for the experience and to see if we get lucky on some gems. If it wasn't for the weight restrictions, I would probably carry more of the ore for crafting. Just seeing if there's any alchemy ingredients I can sample that might lower carry weight a little bit. As I've said before, I generally only like to really eat the ingredients if I have multiple copies of them. Otherwise, I'd rather wait until I know I need it for a potion or until I can learn more effects from a single sample. So we missed the sneak attack, not that it would have done much with the bow. So we're just gonna swap over to our destruction magic. Pick up some of these mushrooms. Etherealize is actually a pretty good potion in case we need to avoid some fall damage, or if we think we're about to die, we can pop it and become immune for a second. Down at the bottom here, there is a hidden chest. There's a lot of hidden chests throughout Bleak Falls. Not all of them are hidden well, but I'd say there's probably at least 6 chests that are a bit off the main path. So this guy usually is a bit stronger. Tends to be like a restless Draugr, or something like an extra level above. Gonna wait until he paths back the other way. Try to maybe get a sneak attack. Get a little bit of a bonus with our spells. So, okay, so it's a Draugr white, actually. Is that a typo? I thought it was supposed to be like a Draugr right. Either way, we handled it pretty well. And now we can enter into the Sanctum. So there we go, we hear it, and now we see it. Another one of these traps. Alright, there's two. Can we get it on our first try? Alright, we made it through on our first try. Should be, yep, we can turn it off. But now, there's going to be quite a few enemies that spawn. We're kinda trapped here. So we're going to do our best to bob and weave. We can retreat a little bit. Really was unfortunate there. Fortunately, we didn't get hit by any of those arrows, but we were stuck in a bottleneck and our wolf wouldn't get out of the way. But going back to all those hidden chests, that will kind of, finding all of these chests will have an effect on Coemgin. He'll see the value in exploring these ruins. Although, dealing with these Draugr is a bit out of his comfort zone compared to the bandits. Coemgin definitely prefers striking from the shadows using stealth. And he certainly does that best with archery. But as we've mentioned before, we can't use archery, not effectively anyways, with the Draugr. So this is forcing him to rely even more on destruction magic. But while it's uncomfortable, perhaps, it is a confidence booster. And so here we are, the Hall of Stories. And so we know that they mentioned the answer being in the palm of your hand. And if you don't know the passcode already, you can look at the claw and it'll give you the code. My very first playthrough, I don't think I read the journal. And I spent probably longer than I would like to admit at this door. I was running up and down, seeing if the code was on the wall somewhere. Now I do have it memorized. But we can always use the claw. With this lighting, this room is certainly ominous. So now this excavation site is from Legacy. And these are in a variety of different locations, mainly ruins. And you can get different items. And I haven't done a lot with those mechanics. I think it gets more into the Exploration Guild, Explorers Guild, that's part of the mod. But I've never really went too far into that guild. I've mainly, in the past, used Legacy of the Dragonborn for the museum itself and its display capabilities. But this playthrough we will go down that path and complete the guild and all the quests surrounding it. So that'll be an interesting experience. But yeah, this is quite the room when there's no light. I think it was back to when I was using Requiem that this room was quite the encounter, because it added, or it might have been because of another enemy mob that I was using at the time. Either way, there was an additional probably 6 Draugr in this room, and they were all quite tanky, and it was a challenge. But this time we just have the boss. So we're going to use the cover and terrain to our advantage. And just make sure that the boss stays at a distance away from us. We do have to watch out for the shout, but we should be safe from any two-handed attacks as long as we maintain distance. This is probably a flaw of the AI. We can keep going up and down this ledge, and it can't pursue us. But there we go, we've cleared Bleak Falls Barrow. And we were just here for the Golden Claw, but we also found the Dragonstone. So we don't know what that is, but it looks to be ancient and interesting, and probably worth something to someone. So we'll pick it up. And I didn't mention it earlier, but before that boss fight, we did see the ward wall, and Coemgin had some kind of experience with it. He heard chanting and saw the glowing ward reaching out to him. So he is not sure what to make of it. Certainly something worth looking into further. But for now, we've gotten the Golden Claw. And we got some additional loot from the rest of the dungeon. So while he's curious to find out more about the wall and the word and the chanting, it'll have to wait, because our priority is getting gold, getting resources. So after a bit more exploration, looking around the room to see if there's anything else hidden, we can find 2 other hidden chests, one on either side of the room. Though it's a bit more difficult to find them when you can only see a few feet in front of you. Ah, here we go. We are once again nearing max capacity. And it looks like if you take into account the magicka from the hood we're wearing, we're about even on magicka and stamina, so we'll put it in stamina. That also gives us a few extra pounds of carry weight. I've always been curious how they powered these hidden doors. I'm not entirely sure what this note is supposed to say. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if this is mod added or if this has always been in the base game. You get to a point where you've played so much modded Skyrim that you start to forget what is and isn't from mods. There we go. Bleak Falls Barrow's cleared. Now we're back outside. It's nighttime now. And there's a little potion here. So we're going to head back to Riverwood. Probably we'll wait until morning to turn in the Golden Claw, since it is late. I am a little cautious. I do remember numerous times leaving the barrow and finding some spiders out here. But it looks like things are clear for now. Do a little bit more mining. With the rain, it's really dark out. So we're making our way back home, but it looks like there's a little cabin here with a poor old woman.
I'm just a poor old woman, dear. No need
All right.
to trouble yourself with me.
We won't trouble ourselves, but we will head inside briefly. Get out of the rain. And this poor old woman has quite the assortment of alchemy ingredients. And a hidden cellar. Certainly worth investigating. And what do we have here? Enchanting and alchemy tables. And it certainly appears like this is not just any old woman. Looking to start a coven. And so, it might not have been the best idea to explore down here, but now that we have, we will have to be careful when we head back up. Might very well have to take out this old woman, and she has some activated werebeast blood. Interesting. Again, I'm pretty sure we can get lycanthropy from that, but I don't want to do that just yet, so we're gonna avoid using that ingredient for the time being. And we can go ahead and disenchant that sword we found in the boss chest. Won't be using two-handed weapons. And it saves us some weight. So I think we've gotten all that we can get from here, but now we might have to take out this poor old woman. Would love if you could sneak out that window, but it looks like... And she's not happy about us trespassing. She's level 20. That's not good.
Fool. None know my secret.
Fortunately, we got one sneak attack off, and not sure what spell she was using there, but we were able to take her out. So a rogue witch across the river from Riverwood. Who would have guessed? So perhaps Coemgin's curiosity got the best of him here. But in the end it paid off. Which will probably lead to similar actions in the future. Hopefully we'll be able to make it back to Riverwood with no more interruptions. Looks like there's... Oh.
Yes.
I thought he was going to be friendly for a second, but... So we have another random encounter.
You're making me angry.
This guy's really coming at us.
I'm on fire!
Or he swapped to a bow. Bow actually hurts quite a bit. Yeah, gosh. He is almost dead, but so are we. Out of magicka. And it's not regenerating. Not sure why it's not regenerating. Even the potions aren't doing anything. Guess we'll try to finish him with the bow. But I can't see him very well. And the aimbot around the tree. Okay. So I don't know why we couldn't regenerate any magicka there, but that was unfortunate. Actually, you know what? We might have gotten injured. I wasn't paying attention. But if we got injured, I know they can have some debuffs. Like reduced regeneration, so maybe that's what happened. Let's see if we can get a sneak attack. Can barely see a silhouette of a body out there. Hit one sneak attack for 50. Alright, so this time we were able to get him down. Didn't swap to the bow, and our wolf was able to distract him for a bit. Alright, so I think the premise of that encounter is this scavenger either found all these dead bodies after a skirmish between Stormcloaks and Imperials, or perhaps he joined in at the end and made sure there were no survivors. Either way, picked up their armor. Alright, so hopefully now this time, we can head all the way back to Riverwood without another interruption. Alright, so it looks like we should be safe now. We made it back. And we can go and either rent another room. I'm not sure if
Come on in. Just
we still have access to it from
seat and get the cold out.
last night. Spend a moment by the fire, dry off
How's
and
about a drink?
warm up.
God.
You'll be wanting me to pay for them?
Still have to rely on alcohol
Right, seeing as you're
to
the
rehydrate.
important lumber
Who needs
man.
water?
You come to an honest day's work at my mill, and I'll pay you an honest day's wages. Then we'll drink.
I still need you to make a batch of those fried potatoes. We can serve them with the ale.
Yep.
And you'll take care of it?
Don't I always?
I don't suppose I could convince you to take
And so
care of it
tomorrow
now,
morning,
could I?
No.
when we head back to the Riverwood
should-
Trader and turn in the claw, we will have completed
Order in for shields.
the
There'll be
first
some hard
major
fighting.
quest
None of that soft
of
buying
the
this
series.
time. Aye, we can get that for you. We just finished the timber for those catapults.
Hopefully the pay will be
War
good.
may be good for business, but it's hard on family.
And then
The hard truth. that
we'll probably
is.
make our way to
Let's
Whiterun.
drink to the fallen ones.
Let the Jarl know about the dragon attack. And
Where'd
hopefully
that
be
visitor go
rewarded.
poking around? Sure thing. It's yours.
And then
for the
after that,
We
the
got
story
rooms
is
and
pretty
food.
wide open.
Drink too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
We'll be using a mod called Not So Fast Main Quest. And so once we head to Whiterun and let them know about the dragon attack,
Let's say that.
we'll be done.
Hmm?
There won't be another attack at the watchtower. We won't have to go and help defeat the dragon, and we won't yet find out anything about what is a Dragonborn and whether or not we are one. So we'll be able to go on and do whatever we'd like. We'll probably focus on
Looking to blow yourself
completing
up. Tell her
some
that's
small
what magic does
quests
to
in
you.
the area.
There's a college in Winterhold that teaches
Maybe go
magic.
finish a few
Knows
bounties,
that
take out some
one, too.
bandits.
Be a lot safer just to have the Jarl's wizard teach you a thing or two.
But so I think with that, this wraps up the 7th episode.
I need some more ale.
And in the morning,
You've had more
next
than enough.
episode,
Besides,
we'll
you still haven't paid
go
for
and
the
claim
last
our reward
I'll find some.
for acquiring the Golden Claw.
Until then, I've no ale for you.
But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.